Hello everyone. So I wanted to make this really quick video over how to solve other types of equations. So this is going to be a kind of like a few parts because there's a lot of other types of equations in college algebra that we deal with. I'm first going to start with equations in where they have a fractional exponent or fractional power. So here we have x to the 3/5 and then plus 2 equals 66. So we have these three, right? So we want to solve each of them for x, right? So let's look at the first one. So we have x, so x to the 3/5 plus 2, x to the 3/5 plus 2 equals 66. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to subtract 2 on both sides, right? So this gives you x to the 3/5 is equal to 64. And now notice that the power or the exponent here is 3/5. To get rid of that, you can do it one of two ways. So if you know that x to the m over n power is equal to the nth root of, of x to the m, you can use that. So we can say that x, and we can say to the 3/5 power is equal to 64, and we can say that the 5th root, so this is the 5th root of x cubed, is equal to 64. Another thing is this also means that this is equal to the nth root of x and then all raised to the m power like this. So we can say this is equal to the 5th root, so the 5th root of x and then all cubed like this, right? And so what we can do is, so this is 64, and what we can do is we can get rid of this cubed root here, okay? So the way that we would do that is we can take the cubed root of both sides, so that way this cubed root cancels out, or this cube cancels out, right? And so we know that the cubed root of 64 is equal to, it's going to be equal to, I think 4. Yeah, 4. And so we have the 5th root of x. So now we have the 5th root of x is equal to 4, right? And so lastly, all you have to do is raise both to a power of 5 to get rid of that 5th root. So we can raise this to the 5th root, or to the 5th power, and raise this to the 5th power. 4 to the 5th power is going to be 1024. So x would be 1024, right? So that's that's the first way to do it, okay? The other way to do it is we still have something like this where it's x to the 3/5 equals 64, so we can rewrite that, x to the 3/5 equals 64. And what we can do is we can raise this to the 5/3 power to get rid of that fraction up there, meaning that we can raise both sides to the 5/3 power. This cancels out, so this becomes x, and we know that x is equal to 64 to the 5/3 power. This is x equals, and we can again use the rule a to the m over n is equal to the nth root of a to the m power, right? So this would be the cubed root, so it'd be the cubed root of 64, and then all raised to the 5th power. It's supposed to be like this. Hold on. Cubed root of 64, and then all raised to the 5th power like this, right? Because, like I said, this is actually 64, and then it's to the 5/3 power. I'm trying to make it very clear, you guys, because I'm trying to make it very color-coded. So if I'm taking a little long, I really want to explain all the ways in which you can do these. So, this is what we get, right? And then we know the cubed root of 64, like I said, it's 4. And 4 to the 5th power is just 1024. So it's the exact same thing, right? So these are the 2 ways in which you can solve that. The next one that I want to go over is x to the 2/3 minus 5 equals 20. So x to the 2/3 minus 5 is equal to 20. So we're going to go ahead and add 5 to both sides, and we are left with x to the 2/3 equals 25. Like I said, you can either use the radical property, the square root property, or the nth root property, or you can go ahead and raise it to the reciprocal to make it equal to 1. So basically, if we make this into a radical, again, x to the m over n is equal to the nth root of x to the m, or the nth root of x, and then all raised to the m power, right? So this would be x to the, it's going to be 2/3, so like this, and then this is equal to 25, right? So then this would be equal to, and we can use this property here. So we can say this is the cubed root of x, and then all raised to the 2nd power. I really recommend that you use this one, okay? Because it looks a little more, it looks a little better than this one, okay? So, yeah. So then we're going to make it equal to 25. And then we have, so it's raised to the 2nd power. We need to get rid of that. So we're going to take the square root of both sides. And we have x, so the cubed root of x is equal to, so the square root cancels out, is equal to 5. And then you're going to go ahead and raise both sides to the 3rd power. So, like this, right? And then you're going to say x equals 5 cubed, which is 125, right? So that would be your answer. Now, again, the other way that you can do it is if we have x to the 2/3 equals to 25. So if we have x to the 2/3 equals 25, you can literally raise it by the reciprocal. You're going to say to the 3/2 power on both sides. And so this will give you x is equal to 25 to the 3/2 power. Now you have to change this to the root property. So this would be 25, and we can say to the 3/2 power, which is equal to the square root, and let me do it this way. So that's the square root of 25, and then all cubed. So this would be, the square root of 25 is 5, and then that would be cubed, and that would be 125, okay? So x would be 125. So that's the other way. So like I said, I'm doing it both ways because those are the two different ways in which you can do it. Whichever one you find easier is up to you. You can do whichever method, but I'm doing it both ways to show you guys the possible ways. Okay, and then the last one that we're going to do is 2x to the 5/4 plus 10 equals 74. So let's do this 2x to the 5/4 plus 10 equals 74. I think that's what it says on there. Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. Minus 10, 2x to the 5/4 equals 64. And so we're going to divide both sides by 2, okay? Because we need to get rid of that number. We need to make it in terms of x, just x on its own. So x to the 5/4, and 64 divided by 2 is 32. So then we have x to the 5/4 is equal to 32, meaning that it's going to be the 4th root, so we're going to do it this way. The 4th root of x, and then we can, again, I really recommend that you guys use this property here. This one over here that's circled, okay? So you're going to say the 4th root of x, and then that'll be equal to, oh, and then it's going to be all raised to the 5th power, and it's going to be equal to 32. So then we're going to take the 5th root of both sides to get rid of that 5th power. And when we take the 5th root of both sides, I believe it's 2. The 5th root of 32 is 2, I think. So this would be the 4th root of x, and it would be equal to 2. And then finally, you're going to go ahead and raise both sides to the 4th power to get rid of that 4th root. So then you get x equals 2 to the 4th, which is 16, I think. So that's the one way to do it. And then the other way, like I said, we have, so you would still do all of this, right? Make it x to the 5/4 and then equals 32, and then you can do it like this. So we have x to the 5/4 equals 32, and you can raise it to the 4/5, because again, when you multiply these two, it equals to 1. So you need to raise it to the 4/5. And then, of course, you get x equals 32 to the 4/5, which is equal to, so then you go ahead and simplify that. That's the 5th root, so we have 32 to the 4/5 power, and we can say that's equal to the 5th root of 32 to the 4th power. Or like I said, use the other property that says the 5th root of 32 to the 4th power. And the 5th root of 32 we all know is 2. 5th root of 32 is 2 because 2 to the 5th equals 32, right? So this would be 2 raised to the 4th power. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So your answer, that's what this is, this whole thing, that's what this is. And so your answer is x equals 16. Okay. So that is how you do those problems, guys. If y'all have any questions whatsoever over this, please let me know. I'm going to do like a few videos on just, so this was one type of equation, and the other type is going to be like rational equations. There's also radical equations, exponential equations, logarithmic equations. I'm not sure exactly because I have to look at the book, but whatever it says I am gonna do. And so with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and please like, comment, and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.